Hi, class. I had a couple of emails asking me to do a video on the quizzes so that you guys could get a better score on what to study for. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over a couple of concepts that I want you to go ahead and study for. So, for example, in this uh, chart, we're looking at uh, a monolopsis uh, firm. Okay, so in here is what we're looking at. If it's an unregulated monopoly, what would be the best price to charge? Well, if we look here, we have demand, and we have demand at 10, and we have a quantity at 25. That gives us the most amount of demand that we can charge someone, and we also have the most demand, so that price at $10 and our quantity at 25. We would love to charge $10 and sell 50, but the demand curve isn't there. At $10 we can only sell 25, and that would be the price would be $10 and then the output would be 25. Now, understanding this, so in a different question, you would have to understand if the industry is regulated and regulatory commission wants revenue to just cover costs, the proper price of output is going to be a little bit different. So we would look here and we would see that our cost right here is at $5 and our output is at 40. And so at a regulated way of looking at it, we would want it at 5 and 40. Now, in here is that you would also have to understand is that the industry is regulated and the regulatory commission wants a price to be set equal to the marginal cost. You would have to understand how to do that. So here you would look at that and understand that, and to look at your book and understand what would the marginal costs be, and we would be looking at this chart here or this curve here. All right, so let's go on to look at the next chart that we'll be looking at. So let's say that we're given this, and this is representing expenditures, and the gross domestic product of this would be have to think about all the different things that we're adding up, and you would have to come up with your gross domestic product, and it should equal in the 7 billion range, just over 7.6 billion. If you were to look at that and understanding that, that's what you would need to look at the data. So how would you come up with that if those numbers represented billion? Now, the next thing that we would do is understanding the expenditures as well. So studying that is the expenditures. Another thing that on the quiz that's really important this week is understanding the differences between something. So if I had 300 and would say that I had another number, let's say in year X, I had 300. And then in year Y, I had a different number. Would say that this number was 320. And the rate of inflation for that year Y, you would have to calculate the difference. A good way to do this is to go ahead and Google the differences of that, how to calculate the percentage differences for that. One of the next things that you'll notice is that you'll have a couple of questions on the quiz that are asking you to calculate the rate of inflation. So how much something has grown from year 1 to year 5 or something. And you're going to have to look at the percentage differences of that. So understanding that is really important. Also in the quiz, what you need to also study for is to understand if you have disposable income and consumption spending, and what is the level of savings between the two. So all you would do is subtract the two. Would say that I save $1 and my consumption spending is 80 cents. The level of savings for me would be 20 cents. So understanding that concept is very important as well. You do have some questions on the supply curve, understanding how the supply curve works. So making sure that you understand the supply curve was very important. The next chart that we'll look at here is on this one. And this chart is going over basically the gross domestic product and product data. So here is what we're trying to figure out is what's the national income, and this is in billions of dollars. And here we're looking at this and saying, okay, how are we going to calculate the national income? And you should be able to calculate this chart and figure out what the national income is, and you can use your textbook as well in there to help you. And then also understand how depreciation is going to work. So if the GDP is $10,000 and depreciation is $1,000, then the national income has to be minus it. So 10,000 minus that 1,000 would mean that the national income was 9,000. And that comes from accounting. Watch this video, take a couple of notes on it, study this, and then help it do it. What I would like for you to do is to email me if you think this video was beneficial or not. You can say, hey, I liked it, I didn't like it, I would like something a little bit more, or the feedback is always welcome, so that I can help you be successful. All right, if you have any questions, you can always call me or email me, and I'm always here to help you.